Hey everyone, I'm here with a quick video on our ex-Vice President Kamala Harris. She says she's not done yet, meaning that there is a small possibility that in the future she might run to be president again. But this time, can she count on your vote? Let me know in the comments. If Kamala Harris ran in the next presidential race, would you vote for her? Let me share a screen so we can get more into this story. Let me see where we at here.
In terms then of what is next for you, you write very powerfully about the differences that many women have made to your life, whether that was your meeting with Angela Merkel or the experience of growing up with your extraordinary mother or the stories of your baby nieces, Amara and Leela. When are they going to see a woman in charge in the White House?
In their lifetime, for sure.
Could it be you?
Possibly.
Have you made a decision yet?
No, I have not.
But you say in your book, I'm not done.
That is correct. I am not done. I have lived my entire career a life of service, and it's in my bones. And there are many ways to serve. I've not decided yet what I will do in the future beyond what I am doing right now.
But you've been very clear that it's a possibility you might run again to become president. And in my experience interviewing politicians, when someone says, I'm not done, it means they are thinking seriously about running. But when you look at the bookies' odds, they put you as an outsider, even behind Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, is that underestimating you?
I think there are all kinds of polls that will tell you a variety of things. I've never listened to polls. If I listened to polls, I would have not run for my first office or my second office, and I certainly wouldn't be sitting here in this interview.
I'm not done. Kamala Harris tells BBC she may run for president again. Okay. Former U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has told the BBC she may run again for the White House. In her first UK interview, Harris said she would possibly be president one day and was confident there will be a woman in the White House in the future. I'm actually feeling that way too. I don't know if I'm going to get to see it. To God be the glory if I do get to see it, but hopefully, definitely my son will be able to see it. Making her strongest suggestion today that she will make another presidential bid in 2028 after losing to Donald Trump last year. Harris dismissed polls that put her as an outsider to become the Democrats' pick for the next election. Speaking this Sunday with Laura, Harris also turned her fire on her former rival, Brandon Trump, a tyrant, and said warnings she made about him on the campaign trail has been proven right. As the Democratic Party reaches for answers about Republicans Donald Trump's decisive victory 1 year ago, much of the blame has been directed at former President Biden for not standing down sooner. But there have also been questions raised about whether Harris could run a better campaign and set out a clear message on the number one issue, the economy. In the BBC interview, Harris entertained the perspective of another one at the White House, saying her grandnieces would in their lifetime for sure see a female president. Asked if it would be her, she said possibly, confirming she is considering another run at the top job. Harris says she has not made a decision, but underlined that she still sees herself as having a future in politics. I'm not done, the former vice president said. I lived my entire career as a life of service, and it's in my bones. Responding to odds that place her as an outsider to win a place on the Democratic ticket, even behind Hollywood actor Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, she says she never listened to polls. If I listened to polls, I would not run for my first office or my second office, and I certainly wouldn't be sitting here right now. Harris also says she believed predictions she made about Donald Trump behaving as a fascist and running an authoritarian government have come true. He said he would weaponize the Department of Justice, and he has done exactly that. She pointed to the suspicion of late-night comic Jimmy Kimmel by ABC after he made a joke about Republican reaction to the death of right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk. His removal from the airways, celebrated by Trump, came after Trump-appointed regulator threatened threaten Kimball's broadcasters. You look at what has happened in terms of how has been weaponized. For example, federal agencies going around at the political satirist. His skin is so thin he couldn't endure criticism from a joke, and attempted to shut down an entire media organization in the process. She actually looks really good here. Harris also slammed business leaders and institutions in America who have, in her view, too easily bowed to the president's demands. There are many who have capitulated since day one, who are bending the knee at the foot of a tyrant. I believe for many reasons, including they want to be next in power because they want to perhaps have a merger approved or avoid an investigation. The White House was dismissive when asked about a response to Harris' comments about the presidents. When Kamala Harris lost the election in a landslide, she should have taken a hint. The American people don't care about her absurd lies, said spokeswoman Abigail Jackson. Or maybe she took the hint and that's why she's continuing to air grievances to foreign publications. Harris has just published her account of her roller coaster campaign, 107 days, the time that was left for her to run for the presidency after Biden withdrew from the race, following months of speculation about his mental acuity. In our full interview with the former vice president to broadcast in UK on Sunday at 9 p.m. And 5 p.m. 5 Eastern Standard Time, I pressed Harris several times on whether she ought to have urged Biden to make way for her sooner. How much did she really know about his health? And a question that may haunt her, whether she would be president now, not Donald Trump, if Biden had withdrawn earlier. The answer is plainly unknowable, that if that could have changed the fate of America. Among the Democratic soul searching, Harris' candidacy is often disparaged. Her weaknesses as a leader pinpointed as the reasons for her defeat, not just the last-minute nature of Biden's decision. When questioned about what went wrong, rather than plunge into deep analysis, her contention is because she started so late. It was almost impossible to win. Why Kamala Harris lost: a flawed candidate or a doomed campaign. But having sat down with the California former prosecutor in the gilded surroundings of a luxury London hotel, rather than the increasingly golden surroundings of the Oval Office as Donald Trump glitz up the decor, the possibility of power is something she is not willing to leave behind. Previous hints of her future presidential ambitions seem coy, non-committal, maybe, maybe not, or I'm not focusing on that right now. Her candor in our conversation was more striking. She was quick, eager even to put herself in the frame for another tilt at power, but she stopped short of making any concrete commitment. That may be surprising given the thoroughly bruising nature of a defeat she has described as traumatizing. She and her team were devastated by the defeat, which came as a surprise to them. My God, what will happen to our country? Harris says she repeated when the result came through. Her attempt to explain it focuses on how narrow the gap in actual votes was between her and Trump. The popular vote was indeed very tight, with less than 2% in it. However, Harris was trounced by Trump in the all-important Electoral College, and where each state had a certain number of votes that tally up. Harris was willing to drop heavy hints about her own future, but there's less willingness from her, or frankly, any other senior Democrats grappling with their party long-term dilemmas. How does a central-left party with mainstream leaders take on a right-wing populist leader? Is the answer to focus on Trump, or is it to argue more forcefully from Main Street? When I challenged the former vice president on why her campaign did not better connect with working people, she said she needed more time to do that, and pointed to a longstanding drift away from her party among that group. She regrets she didn't have long enough in 2024 to make her own pitch in bread and butter issues like housing or childcare. But if she had longer next round, it's far from guaranteed her arguments would be more compelling or more gladly received. Kamala Harris still travels with the trappings of an entourage, age, anxiously watch the clock as her every minute is planned with military precision. nonstop travel, choreographed events in different capitals, a tiny number of carefully planned TV interviews. This time, Harris is on the move for her book tour, not a presidential race. But maybe if she has her way, this is the start of another campaign after all. Listen, I wish you the best. I think, and I say this respectfully, in some way, shape, or form, after this 4 years is up for number 47, from where we stand right now with the economy seeming to be in a horrific state, whoever gets in that seat, it seems like it's so far in the gutter, they have no place to go but up. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Would you vote for Kamala Harris if she ran in the next presidential race? And I know you may say, well, Diva, it depends on who else is running. But listen, do you like her enough that now you wish she should have been number 47? Or would you even consider, if she is, even not knowing who the other candidates will be, would you consider voting for her, unless you just had another candidate that you said, you know what, that person will be better? Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, and I'll see you on the next video.